that involves a WNBA coach. Her name is Cheryl Reeve. She's a coach in the WNBA. She is the coach of the Minnesota Lynx. And during this weekend, in a game against the Indiana Fever, she was seen wearing a trans kid belong t-shirt.
Drop everything right now. Turn the volume up because the WNBA just hit a level of chaos nobody saw coming. The biggest name in sports media just dropped a truth bomb on live TV, and the fallout is nothing short of explosive. This wasn't some small beef. It was a full-blown exposure of secrets the league has been hiding for weeks. And it hit so hard that the game's biggest star, Caitlyn Clark, broke her usual calm and walked straight into the front office demanding a coach be removed on the spot. 4 weeks now, Indiana Fever star Sophie Cunningham has been at the center of a nasty storm. Ugly protests, hostile crowds, pure chaos everywhere she goes. But instead of calming things down, Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve allegedly poured gasoline on the fire. And that's when Stephen A. Smith stepped in and said enough is enough. Just days ago, a video from Stephen A. blew up online, and the title alone shook the entire league. You're putting yourself before the whole league. Stephen A. Smith calling out Cheryl Reeve directly, no holding back. But here's the thing, Stephen A. was only round one. Just when Reeve thought she'd survive the media storm, things got worse. Caitlyn Clark stepped straight into the fire. She flipped the entire narrative, called out Reeve's alleged agenda, stood tall for her teammate Sophie Cunningham, and demanded the WNBA hand down a full suspension.
A male, born a male, transitioning to female, and think that you should have the right to compete with women. Not in basketball, not in football, not in boxing, not in the UFC. Hell, not even in tennis. It's an aberration when you find somebody like a Serena Williams serving 120 miles, 25 miles an hour. That's ordinary for Jokic or Jokovic. That's ordinary for Sinner. That's ordinary for Alcaraz. That was ordinary for Sampras.
Don't skip a single second of this, because we're diving deep into Stephen A. Smith's fiery outburst, the hard proof of Cheryl Reeve's rocky history, Caitlyn Clark's bold ultimatum, and why the WNBA is stuck with zero answers as this madness explodes. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and let's get into it. To really understand why the sports world is on fire right now, you have to rewind to Stephen A. Smith's on-air explosion. The WNBA was already a pressure cooker. Sophie Cunningham's controversy was everywhere, dominating every headline. And instead of stepping up as a leader, Cheryl Reeve, according to Stephen A., poured more fuel on the fire. On his show, Stephen A. wasn't calm. He wasn't holding back. This wasn't just criticism, it was a full takedown of Reeve's reputation, live on national television. "This is a disgrace," he said, practically shouting into the mic. "Sophie Cunningham is a player in your league. She's out there competing, and instead of shutting down the toxic noise around her, you're feeding your own ego, your own politics, ahead of the entire league's well-being." Stephen A. didn't stop there. He claimed certain veteran coaches were using off-court drama as a weapon, a way to break the Fever's chemistry from the inside. His theory: they can't stop Caitlyn Clark on the court, so they're trying to rattle the players around her instead. He called it a desperate, fearful move from a coach who can't handle this new era of women's basketball. But here's where it gets even wilder. This isn't Reeve's first time losing control. Go back to the 2025 playoffs. During a heated series against the Phoenix Mercury, Reeve lost it completely, so badly that the WNBA actually suspended her for a game.
Or whatever else you want to come up with. What the hell are you talking about? It's not true. It is false. AJ DeBonza not to throw his name out there. Darren Peterson, hell, pick a scrub. If you're a male and transitioning to female, you should be playing against the women. Nobody said you can't transition from male to female. The issue here is competing against the women. That's what Sophie Cunningham was talking about. That's what Riley Gaines is talking about. How are you, Coach Cheryl Reeve, and you could condone that? And then you're going to come out with a t-shirt. No regard for the WNBA. No regard for the sponsors that may be put off by that. No regard for the bottom line that might be affected because of a position that she has taken that you know is going to be politicized. Because that's what you did. No regard for that whatsoever. How is that okay?
So why the suspension? Because her behavior went completely off the rails. The WNBA hit her with the punishment for going after a game official, refusing to leave the court when told to, and firing off inappropriate remarks at fans in the stands. This is a coach with an actual paper trail, a documented history of blowing up whenever things don't go her way. So when Stephen A. Smith went on air and said she was putting herself before the league, he wasn't pulling that out of thin air. He was pointing straight at a pattern, a coach who's shown, again and again, that her ego comes before the game itself. And this time, she picked the wrong player to go after. She went after Sophie Cunningham, which meant she was about to go head-to-head with Caitlyn Clark. And if Reeve thought Stephen A. was her biggest headache, she had no idea what was coming. Because Clark was watching everything unfold, and she snapped. You do not touch Caitlyn Clark's teammates. Not this season. Not ever. Clark and Cunningham have built something real this year, an unbreakable bond, on the court and off it. We saw it just days ago, August 2nd, during warm-ups, the two of them laughing and joking, Sophie hyping Clark up before the game like they've known each other forever. They're not just teammates, they're family. So when Clark saw the toxic wave building against her closest friend, she didn't tweet about it. She didn't put out some soft PR statement. She went to war. According to insider reports, Clark walked straight past the cameras and went right to the WNBA front office.
Sophie Cunningham, questionable right elbow. When the hell did that happen? When did that pop up? Did it pop up after she posted that graphic from Evelyn about going rogue on her Instagram and Caitlyn Clark commented on it? Is that when this happened? Indiana Fever? Everybody knows that you guys are attempting to punish Sophie Cunningham. We all know it. We all see it. This is ridiculous. Look at the first comment, Evelyn. You guys are a clown organization. Here it says, Sophie hurt her elbow writing this for Stephanie White, didn't she? This is what Sophie Cunningham had. I will not pass to Caitlyn again. I will not pass to Caitlyn Clark again. This is what they forced Sophie Cunningham to do. Okay, that's how she hurt her elbow. CDS Sports, go rogue, win game, end up on injury report. Beatings will continue until morale improves. This is ridiculous, guys. This is ridiculous. Everybody knows this is clearly punishment for Sophie Cunningham. Chloe Peterson was the first to report on it. She said, Sophie Cunningham is questionable with a right elbow injury for tomorrow's game. She participated in the portion of practice open to the media this morning. Okay. And everybody knows every comment is that this is punishment. Look here, Sophie being put in timeout for speaking what's on her mind. Okay, punishment for inbound passing to Caitlyn Clark instead of Kelsey Mitchell. Stephanie White needs to go. Okay, did it happen on the drawn up play at the end? This organization is like the mafia. So everyone knows, it's clear as day that this is punishment for Sophie Cunningham. It's very, very, very obvious that this is punishment for Sophie Cunningham. The organization is a straight up clown show at this point. And then not only that, they have not addressed the smear campaign. They've gone out of their way to address any and everything else. They refuse to address the smear campaign led by Dan Dockich, who has been adamant about he's getting this information from the inside. Not only have they not addressed that, and he doubled down on it today. Dan Dockich was
panic. Total panic. That's the only word to describe what just hit the WNBA. Caitlyn Clark, the biggest name in the league, the woman pulling in the crowds and the cash, reportedly walked straight into the front office and dropped a bombshell demand. Suspend Cheryl Reeve now. Yes, you heard right. Clark wants the veteran coach benched immediately. Her message was simple. If the league lets coaches with a history of trouble openly back the harassment of players like Sophie Cunningham, the WNBA is finished. Done. Clark called out the double standard hard, pointing out that any player pulling this stunt would already be fined and suspended. Her warning was blunt. Act now, or face a full-blown revolt. She's not watching her teammate get thrown under the bus by a broken system. So now the league is stuck. Ignore Clark and Stephen A. Smith, and they risk losing their biggest star ever, while proving to everyone watching that the system really is rigged.
I think educate, and there are some things that, we have in common and maybe some things you differ on, just like any issues. And I think it's how you handle things. And so...
You can pause it right there. I want you to now watch what Caitlyn Clark's
nice
coach had to say when she was questioned. This is Caitlyn Clark's coach. Okay, go for it.
Your stance on men or athletes who test as biological male participating in women's sports. What's your personal...
Watch your answer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say that I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint. I don't ever believe that exclusion is an answer. I just don't.
No, but wait a minute. You got to keep playing it. Is this the only clip we have? Oh, okay.
I think that's it.
Because she says, I used to play with men when I was a kid. I always played with men when I was a kid. And she answers the question like, I'm not a scientist. I'm not this. I'm not that. And then the game's being played yesterday. Sophie Cunningham gets hit in the face by an elbow that pretty much almost like massive foul. They called the foul on
it's a defensive
on
foul.
her. I don't even know if we can even play this clip or not. If you can see it, but right there, elbowed in the face. Look at that. Right, do it again.
Whose
on the
fault
elbow.
is that?
Elbow in the face like that.
Lost
and guess
teeth?
who got the foul? She got
did.
the foul, not the girl that went through this. So, Vinny, again, every time you think common sense is making a comeback, they do something like this. How do you react to this story?
And I know Adam's been very passionate about it. And every time Adam was like, I was kind of like in my head, like, give him a chance. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I think it's time to get rid of the WNBA, period, full stop, and I'm dead serious. Okay, I'm sick and tired of them using this. No, Adam, I'm dead serious. Like, they're hemorrhaging money every single year. Every year, how much money they're losing? To $40 million, and they keep it afloat. And I'm sick and tired of this nonsense, this trans nonsense that keeps coming up. Right when you think it's over, it keeps coming back up like resurfacing like a damn submarine. And in regard to her shirt, trans kids belong where? In the opposite sex bathroom, or in a clinic getting injected with puberty blockers or their breasts getting taken off. You know where trans kids belong? In therapy. Okay, they belong in therapy to find out what happened. Okay, how did you get to this mindset? Who talked to you? Were you on TikTok? Okay, were you talking to, who was influencing you to try to make you feel the way that you do? Okay, that's what we need when it comes to these trans kids, and they belong. Okay, the last thing we need is encouraging.
Trouble is brewing, and this time it's bigger than anyone expected. Because here's the problem nobody in the WNBA front office wants to admit out loud. If they actually go through with suspending a veteran coach like Cheryl Reeve, it won't just be one punishment. It will light a fuse. It will set off a full-blown war inside the league, and this time, it won't be players against players. It will be the old guard, the coaches, the executives who have run this league for years, standing up against the very structure that made Caitlyn Clark and Sophie Cunningham the biggest names in the sport today. Think about what that actually means. Reeve isn't just some random coach. She's respected. She's connected. She has allies in every front office, every locker room, every boardroom that matters. So the moment the league even considers suspending her, you're not just disciplining one person, you're opening a door that a lot of powerful people never wanted opened. And once that door is open, there's no closing it quietly. That's exactly why the WNBA is stuck. Truly, completely stuck. On one side, you have Caitlyn Clark, the player pulling in record crowds, record ratings, and record money for a league that desperately needs all three. On the other side, you have a coach with deep roots and serious backing, someone who isn't going to just sit back and accept a suspension without a fight. Whatever the league decides, someone powerful walks away furious. There is no version of this where everybody stays happy. And that's what makes this moment so dangerous for the WNBA. Every single decision maker in that league office right now understands one brutal truth. They're being watched. Not just by fans, not just by the media, but by every player in that locker room who is quietly wondering if the league will actually protect them or if it'll protect the coaches instead. This isn't just about Cheryl Reeve anymore. This is about what kind of league the WNBA actually wants to be. Do they stand with their biggest star? Or do they protect the old system that's been running things for years? Because right now, the whole world is watching, and the clock is ticking louder every single hour this drags on. Every hour of silence from the league office is another hour where fans, players, and analysts are forming their own opinions. And once those opinions harden, there's no walking them back. So now it's time to hear from you. I want your honest, unfiltered opinion, right? Tell me exactly where you stand, because this is one of those moments where every single opinion matters, and the league is watching the reaction just as closely as we are. If you're standing with Caitlyn Clark and Sophie Cunningham on this one, smash that like button right now and let it be known. This story is moving fast, and the more attention it gets, the harder it becomes for the league to sweep it under the rug. So if you believe the truth about Cheryl Reeve needs to come out, share this video immediately. Send it to a friend, post it, put it out there, because silence only helps the people trying to avoid accountability. And if you want to stay locked in on every twist this story takes, because trust me, this is far from over, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a single update the moment it breaks. More insane, jaw-dropping WNBA news is coming, and you do not want to be the last one to stay tuned, because the next update might be the one that changes everything.